What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. And as you've seen on the title, the GFX 50R is going to be my camera for 2025. And you guys might ask why a camera that came out in 2018 will be your camera in 2025. So I originally bought this camera during Christmas of 2024, and I finally pulled the trigger ever since I've been wanting this camera. And that was when I first picked up my first Fujifilm, and that was the XC3. And I was interested to go see what their medium format cameras could do. And there's this YouTuber, his name is Kyle McDougall. I seen him do a comparison from medium format film and digital. And to have that Pentax medium format look, you need to pair it with this Metacon, and that's exactly what I did. And as you can see on this example, that's that look that I really wanted. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with that look. And with the APS-C, with that XT3, and even when I have the XT5, it's kind of hard to get that look with that sensor. And I just couldn't justify getting the medium format right away, just because when I did pick up my XT3, I was still learning photography. I knew, of course, what aperture does, shutter, and ISO, but more so into diving into photography in compositions, street photography, urban, architecture, just all different type of photography. And I still didn't have my look or what I like doing with photography during that time. And with the XT3, it's plenty enough for me to figure that out during that time frame. And in 2024, I decided to upgrade and get a Fujifilm X-T5, which I did love that camera. But now we're back to the GFX, and later on that again. But that's just the background story of what I have and why I got the GFX. So I picked up this GFX because I feel, well, not I feel, the files that this produces is amazing. So as you can see in the image quality that I've been showing throughout this video, is that depth of field. But with that depth of field, of course, I'm shooting around 1.7 with a Metacon, and I don't ever shoot at 1.4 because of the vignetting. And I got kind of obsessed with having that look just because of I've been wanting to get that look ever since I seen that you could recreate that film look with digital without having to get it scanned and do all that film process. You can literally just do it digitally, and I'm totally fine with that. So I shot a lot of JPEG when I first got this in the first month, and I enjoyed that process. Even editing JPEGs, I know a lot of people would say, I mean, not just a lot of people, but it is true that the raw files that come out of this is amazing, and you can stretch it out a lot more than JPEG, which is, you know, a given with any camera. But the JPEG that I do receive with this, the thing that I noticed the most is that high dynamic range. So the range on this is great, especially the raw files that you get, especially if you're doing any type of portrait work. You're gonna love this camera. And how I use it. So how I use this camera, basically my photography. So I do a lot of urban, architecture, just non-moving objects, and that is perfect for me. That's why I picked up this Metacon, so I could just manual focus, and I do enjoy taking my time taking photos. I also do a little bit of landscapes here and there, and do paid clients of family photos and portrait photos. But I did pick up the GF 50mm for that, just because of, you know, with family, with kids and all, I wouldn't want to just fully rely on the manual focus a lot. The process will be a lot better with a GF native lens with the GFX 50R. And like I said, on how I use this is I could do my photo walks, and I have this camera with me. I just take my time. I know it's pretty bulky, but the images it does take is amazing, and I would pick this up more like over the XT5 X Pro 3 any day. I would lug these around, photo walk for an hour or 2 hours, just because of how amazing the image quality on this are, personally to me. Talk about battery life. Battery life on this is not as good as my XT5. XT5 has one of the best battery life I've ever had in a camera. And with these, I did buy 2 more batteries, but I've never actually got to use the second one, so I did a road trip to Valley of Fire. Took a lot of photos out there. Didn't take any videos because the videos on this is 1080p. I mean, it's usable, but I didn't pick up this camera to shoot video. That's what I have my Sony for. And the battery life on this would last you a good 5 to 6 hours of taking photos. And that's during a photo walk. On portrait work, that could get you about 2 to 4 hours. It depends, of course, on how much turn off and on and how many clients you have that day, etc. But overall, it's pretty good. I would say it equates to about, if you have an X106, it equates that battery life. Image quality. I cannot emphasize this enough that it was a huge jump coming from the X-T5, which has 40 megapixel. I mean, of course, the sensor is the APS-C, which is what is lacking. With this medium format, it's a huge difference. Not just the depth of field, but just how much more you could do with the files that you get with this. And as you can see on the screens, all the photos that I have on here are actually unedited. I haven't even edited these photos because I'm already fine with how they look straight out of camera. Even if you do resize this, sending it to your phone just for social media, most of my stuff that I take photos of are straight out of the camera because I'm just posting it up on Instagram. It's just the things that I do for fun. It's my hobby at the end of the day. And I'm totally fine with the resize just because I'm not cropping anything at all. But the cropping on these, when you get the full size, you could literally crop 300, 400% usable. Like, that's how good the image quality on this is. Getting everything with that sensor. Video, like I already stated on the video, I don't even shoot video with these. It doesn't shoot 4K, 1080p. 1080p is usable. It doesn't have IBIS either, so I don't really got anything for the video side for this review. What I love about this camera is it has the X-Pan. The Hasselblads had them. I know Fuji had their own X-Pan as well for film. With this one, at first, it kind of threw me off just because of the composition. And like anything that's new, I wasn't really getting why I would shoot this like a panorama. I never shot panorama like that on my phone. At first, when the iPhone introduced it, everybody was shooting panorama, including myself. I didn't enjoy that when you just, dragging your phone and gotta be in a perfect line. But with this, you don't have to do that. It sets it to, I don't want to mess up the ratio, so I'm gonna put it up over here. But you could shoot with that. As you can see on the screen, I shot with this the first day I got it. I wanted to try out the X-Pan. Didn't really like it. I didn't shoot with it again until the next week, and then I started to like it more and more just because of how I compose it. So how I shoot this is not just a regular panorama look, which I did in my first week, but I did challenge myself to have it. To me, it looks like something from a cinema, so like a movie that's playing, and then you could click pause on that movie and you see that scene, be like, oh, this is a great shot right here. And that's basically how I view this. So it's like being in a movie, and how I would compose it could be like a still from that movie. And I find myself shooting a lot of X-Pan with this lately. And like I said, it kind of trained my eyes as well to look at things in a different way. And it's just one more factor on this GFX that I like. Just it's good to have, and especially if you're gonna shoot landscapes. Even when I was at IKEA, I even tried out the X-Pan on this, and I enjoyed that look too. Like I said, it looked like it came out from either a TV show or a movie. The cons. So the cons on this is the grip. Grip is basically, it's like a little bulge right there, but the thing is, for how heavy this camera is paired with a Metacon especially, it's hard to, I mean, you could do it, I could do it as well, but it's going to be a lot better if you get a grip, if you're going to be shooting long hours, doing photo walks as well. But with my photo walks, I just hang this literally on my shoulder, so I don't really mind it. The grip would definitely help you out if you got bigger hands. I know you guys would love it if you get the grip. Another con is the lack of IBIS. So at nighttime, I wanted to, actually, I haven't really done much night photography with this, just a couple of shots as you can see on the screen, and it did fairly well. I just had it at 250, and of course a wet lit scene, so I didn't really need a tripod, unless of course I'm gonna take my time and actually get even better image quality. But during that time I just wanted to test it out without using a tripod, without the IBIS. It did fairly well. I did wish that it did have IBIS, just because it would help a lot with night photography. But if you're into night photography anyways, you're gonna be using a tripod. So I just added that list of cons, just because there's not really much else for me to say any con with this. This is my dream camera, so I'm a lot biased into everything about this camera. Like, I'm literally in love with this camera. I also forgot to add for the cons is the color chrome effect. If you have the color chrome effect in JPEG and you want to go shoot with it, you are gonna have that same as the other X series cameras. When you put the clarity into anything else but 0, it will take a full second for it to basically write on the card, and it would slow you down even further. I do use this on some of my recipes when I'm just casually doing my photo walk. I don't mind it, but this is also a con for the camera, is that whenever you're using manual focus and you're looking at the EVF, the thing is, if you're not holding down the shutter button halfway, the EVF itself is not as clear as it is. I mean, it will have the peaking. I do have the peaking on, and of course, kind of helps me out. You can turn this off as well, but until you hold that shutter button halfway, then the EVF will give you a much clearer view of what you're seeing, and then you could focus it then. So it's up to you if you want to use the peaking mode on if you're using manual focus, but I think I should add this to the con list as well. The last con is the huge form factor. This camera is huge. As you can see on the screen, that is me comparing it with the X100VI. That's a big, chunky camera. But with that being said, it does help out a little bit that it's heavy, because then when you're holding it straight up, the micro jitters and all that, if you are going to be taking videos, it will help you out with that, just because it's heavy. But like I said, it's still a con, because this is huge. This camera is huge, and nobody really likes to lug big cameras around like that, unless you're like me, which I don't mind it, but it's still a con. And that is literally the end of the con list. This GFX 50R, when I picked this up, once I seen it and how big it was, I'm like, man, maybe I won't really pick up this camera as much because how big it is and heavy. And I've gotten accustomed to the Fuji system, which are pretty light. Lenses are not typically this long, and I could literally just put it as a sling, go about my day, and not really worry about it like that. But this one, it is pretty hefty. To me, I don't really mind it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the image quality it produces is so good that I would be lunging this around. It doesn't matter. And who is this for? The GFX 50R in 2025. If you want to get that medium format look, the Pentax look, the old film look, I do suggest this. And also for the people that's enthusiasts into adapting lenses, I know some folks out there love to adapt lenses, so you just get an adapter and adapt the old film lenses on this. They have a ton of fun with that. I'm not too big into gear, but maybe later down the road I would be more inclined to try that out as well. But a lot of people, a lot of creators out there, they do adapt a lot of lenses on the GFX 50R, and they enjoy it. Also, if you just want something different from the APS-C, and it's hard for me to kind of explain this, so you can see with the images that this takes, it's just pure magic. And I'm not just saying that, oh, it's all in the camera. Of course, it's the person that's shooting with it and how to use that tool. If you know how to basically maneuver camera already, I wouldn't really suggest this if you're a beginner, you've been doing photography 1 year, and then you want to jump on a medium format. If you got the money, go ahead, it's your money. But like I said, this is more tuned to a certain type of folks like me who shoots fairly slow. I shoot a lot of non-moving objects. I don't shoot any sports, anything of that nature. And if I do, I won't really be shooting with this. I mean, you can, but there's a lot of better cameras out there that you could shoot that with. This one is for more so people that does photo walks, the people that love that film aesthetic look, and having that jump from the APS-C size to the medium format, from, like I said, the X-T5 to the GFX is a huge jump in image quality. If you like to zoom a lot as well, or not zoom, but to crop a lot, medium format is, this GFX is for you. And also, if you don't need any of the cons that I have, like the IBIS, anything like that, you can get the GFX 50S2 for the same price as this now. The price on this really did jump because of the rangefinder look. And this one of, like, this is beautiful. I like everything about this camera. Like I said, it's my dream camera, so it's just personally for me. And also the people that take photos of, if you like doing portrait work and you want that medium format look, like I said, I can't suggest this enough. Get this camera for that. Paired with a Metacon, you would get that look. This camera paired with either the GFX 50 or the Metacon, it's super sharp. Even at 1.7 at f2 and of course the GF50 at 3.5, it would literally be super sharp at wide open. You could use it for portrait work, or you could just use it literally for anything besides moving objects. If you don't shoot as much movements, I do suggest this camera is for you. And that's about it with the GFX 50R. I will be doing another review on this. I've only had this for a month, and I'll be doing one 6 months and a year. Like I said, this is going to be my camera for 2025. I'll give you guys more updates. I'll do a lot more client work, and you know, my road trips. I'll be taking this camera around here in the US, and I'll give you guys more update on what I like about it. Maybe I'll come up with some more cons, but like I said, there's only 3 cons and I could live with that. But yeah, that's about it with the review on the GFX. If you got any questions, go ahead and comment down below. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. What's good, y'all? So this is my camera shot for the GFX. It is the Evergreen, and if you guys would like to check it out and see all the different colorways, go ahead and head down to my description. The link is down below. It would, if you guys do purchase through there, it would help out this channel. And also go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. That would help me out a lot. This video is not sponsored, and Evergreen didn't ask me to, you know, shout them out or anything like that at all. I purchased this with my own money. So if you guys would like to get one, like I said, go ahead and click that link below.